Hello everybody, I am Angry Bird. Welcome back to a new Steel Division League cast today, and we are continuing the best of 5 final between Gonzo and Quadriu in the Steel Division League Season 5 Division 1 Grand Final. The big boys are playing, and yeah, it's been a fantastic final thus far. This is game number 4. If you haven't seen the previous 3 games, make sure you go back and check them out because I'm going to talk about spoilers now. So yeah, stop the video and go back and check them out and come back and make sure you subscribe because why aren't you watching those videos when they come out? um, so yeah, the score is currently 2 games to Gonzo, 1 game to Quadriu. And if Gonzo wins today, he crowns himself champion. If Quadriu wins, then he will evil it up and take it to a sudden death final match between the 2 players. That would sure be an exciting match, definitely. So the matchup we have today, Gonzo on the left-hand side in red, playing the second Guards Tank Corps on Vanguard income, which is a switch in income for Gonzo, from Balance to Vanguard. And Quadriu is on the right-hand side in blue, playing the third VDV on Vanguard income. So, an interesting choice, I think. The matches on Zell are very infantry focused. I mean, you can see really from the preview, can't you, with the patches of forest almost everywhere. So I think that's probably the decision that influenced Quadriu taking the third VDV, but not many people used to rank that division too well. So we'll see how they fare today in Quadriu's hands. Let's have a look at the decks. Gonzo on the left-hand side playing the second Guards Tank Corps. He's going to have a decent number of T-34 76s and 85s at his disposal. That's what the second Guards Tank Corps do well. If you like T-34s, you can get T-34s. You know, T-34s all day long. Plenty of Razvedka cards. We know Gonzo loves those bazookas. And I think, again, although I don't think he's up against Shermans in the third VDV. I think there are a couple, but I don't think it's like a heavily Sherman division. I mean, we're going to show my unit knowledge now. I haven't actually covered the third VDV many times. I'm not sure how many times on the actual channel we've ever had a third VDV cast. Can't be very many at all. I'm hazardous to say this is the first time, but I don't know. I don't recall casting them very often. But yeah, those Razvedka with the bazookas on this type of map with loads of pockets of forests, you can actually sneak Razvedkas all over the place, through enemy lines, behind enemy lines, around enemy lines, and snipe those transports, tanks, and vehicles from behind with the bazookas. So that's probably what Gonzo is going to be aiming to do with those Razvedka cards. We have the ISU 152, just a single one in A phase, and we're going to see how Gonzo uses that. I feel like if he tries to take the centre hill, he may well put that ISU up there on the centre hill, or perhaps somewhere on the southern. No, actually, I think it'd be the north as we're going to look at it in this map. There's quite a raised area in the north, so it may well go up there and kind of overlook the rest of the battlefield. But yeah, it's a fairly heavy tank, and I don't think it's well, a heavy armored vehicle, and I don't really think the 3 VDV, get anything heavy. So be interesting to see whether he actually does bring out that ISU 152. Plenty of this 2 guns. Again, I'm not thinking the third VDV have too much in the way of heavy tanks, so a little bit surprised on the number of this 2 guns that Gonzo's got in there, especially with the T-34s. But yeah, perhaps that's my my knowledge. We're going to have a look at the deck in a moment. And then some P283s, which I think will come in very useful for Gonzo. Let's switch over to Quadriu. He has 84 units of infantry in the 3rd VDV. Tank-wise, we were talking about that, and he has Valentine 9s and T-34s. He does have a decent number of T-34s, so he can match up reasonably well with the second guards, but they get the 85 variants, which obviously outmatch those 76 variants. I think Quadriu has it in the infantry stakes for sure. The Desantniki strong in the forest, the Sturmoviki strong in the forest. So Quadriu is going to need to stick to those forests, I think, to use his infantry to maximum effect. We do actually see some C-phase cards in this deck from Quadriu. It's very rare that he actually takes C-phase cards from what we've been seeing so far. So we got some Desantniki in there and some Desantniki Maxim units in C-phase. Perhaps to help him hang on at the very end. He is Vanguard against Vanguard this time, so the income differences may not come into play as much. We do see some U2 recon planes actually in there, which is a little bit of a surprising pick. I don't think they're the U2s with the bombs on them, but we may have a look if one of them comes out. I don't think they have the bombs, so I think they're just straight recon units. I think that could be to kind of fly over the forest. I mean, there's lots of line of sight blockers on this map with the forest everywhere, so perhaps that's to help out with those, line of sight blockers, recon from the skies. Now, he does have a number of IL-237s. We mentioned this in the previous game, but I don't think we saw the IL-237 out on the battlefield, but it can handle T-34s pretty well, so I expect we will see that out today. Right, let's get the game underway. Let's head into the action, and let's find out what is going to happen. So let's recap on the left-hand side. In red, we have Gonzo playing the 2nd Guards Tank Corps on Vanguard income, going very strong into the centre. And on the Gonzo's on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side in blue, we have Quadriu playing the 3rd Guards Tank Corps on Vanguard income. Now, the left-hand side of this map always has a much better time getting onto this central hill. So, you see the difference in the orders here. Gonzo going very aggressively for Quadriu's flag up on this hill, and Quadriu kind of unloading short and then or pushing over the open ground to not expose himself and then unload at the edge of the forest. And he's going to use Tanko Desantniki because he knows he's going to have to fight in that forest. In fact, both players using Tanko Desantnikis. It's going to be the battle of the Tankos in the centre of that map. Although Gonzo, I think, has some Ognomachiki to help him out. He also has a Gvardia Comrotti in there, and the extra veterancy might help him out as well in that fight. Apologies, my voice is going a little bit. Hopefully this doesn't affect the cast too much, but I've been casting all day long so far, so hopefully it will be okay. Again with these two players, a bit of a slow start in a sense. Very cautious approach. Quadriu's capturing the flag up north with the Ognomachiki coming in the forest. We'll have to see how that goes, but the Desantniki are going in there as well. IL-2M3 coming down south. Wow, spotted that Zis 2 gun really far back. Could be a nice kill here. ZSU M17 racing down the road to try and destroy that IL-2 before it comes in. Oh, just in time. Just in time. That Zis 2 gun was going down, and the Yak 1B now chases. And should easily pick up the kill. There's the burst of fire. There's the kill. Does he go for the Yak 90 engagement? Looks like Looks like it is going to happen. Oh! Head on there. Neither side getting the kill, but the Yak 1B comes off the worst. The Yak 9T does have the better armament of these planes, but it looks like the 1B almost gets a good engagement on that. I think Gonzo's going to call away the Yak 1B, especially with him having the ZSU M17 around. Very nice engagement in the air there. Down south it looks like... I think they're the half-tracks from the centre that have come down south. Very interesting. And Gonzo has won the centre hill. The Battle of the Tankos goes Gonzo's way. I think he had more units. I think he just had more units. So the Yak 9T did go in for a strafing run there on the Rizvedka, and here's the U2 spy plane. Oh, it does have the 50 kilogram bombs, the U2 spy plane. Wasn't quite sure, but yeah, I mean it does have the bombs, and they actually can be used pretty effectively because they're very accurate. The guy's basically dropping them outside of the plane, and although I say very accurate, it helps if they actually do fire, do drop those bombs. Not exactly sure why that didn't they didn't release the payload there. Not quite sure. More infantry going up north for Quad Ryu. He's trying to secure that northern position. I think there's something wrong here where the U2 is not engaging those Tanko Desaniki. So that seems to be unfortunate for Quad Ryu. Looks like he's bringing an off-map in here, I imagine, to hit this town, but he doesn't really have... Oh, he does have some Tanko Desanikis coming now, so I think that's to follow up the off-map that is inevitable. 2 M17s on now, and that should force back the 9T. In fact, this 9T, yes, it goes down to those M17s. So Gonzo does establish control of the skies. The Yak 1B should finish off this U2 no problem. Wonder whether he's going to follow on to the second one as well. Yes, he is, and that's going to... No, the U2 does just get out alive. And those U2s don't actually cost a lot, so, you know, it's not too bad to lose them. ETRS behind enemy lines. Like what I was saying with the way that Rizvedkas work. Kind of a little bit surprised on just the direct order movement that's being used here. Rather than like an attack move order. So I don't know whether that's actually going to work, because the Guardia are going to see that PTRS, and I'm not quite sure whether it's going to fire. I don't believe it's going to fire the actual... Ah, Quad Ryu spots it. Realises his mistake. Oh, and yeah, it's going to go down. Bit of a shame there. Oh, he does throw smoke, so maybe he's going to correct the situation, but I feel like that unit's going down there, and at least the surprise assault... perhaps sniping transports in this kind of position has well, it's not a surprise anymore, is it? So I think the off map actually is going to hit this forest here. Yeah, there we see it being placed, and Quad Ryu's getting ready to attack. 26 seconds until that artillery reaches target, and 26 seconds until Quad Ryu makes his big play up here on the northern side. Tanko Desaniki are going to rush in and unload at the edge of this forest, and Desaniki will join them as well. I think he's a little bit too early with this Desaniki moving forwards. Oh, it's the smoke off map. So he's not too early. It's the smoke off map. There we have it. There we have it. 2A1 goes down to the Rizvedka, I think, but the Tanko and Disaniki can finish the job. Yeah, Tanko Disaniki versus Guardia. The Tankos will win out. I don't think any problems there. Looks like Gonzo's making a bit more of a move in the centre. I think he needs to counter Quadryu in some respects. Quadryu is making gains up north. So Gonzo does need to get a move on. Tanko Disaniki in the far north are going to go down. And the Guardia are just being... well, actually, I think they've stood up rather well here to the Tankos. The Sturmoviki should easily defeat the squad with the TMT charge. Although, actually, the Guardia falling back out of the way of that TMT charge. Onimachiki moving over through the light forest. Oh, Valentine versus T-34-76 engagement. I feel like the Valentine has this and does get the kill. Beautiful work. Beautiful work. And Gonzo's... look at that Rizvedka rocket launch there. Right on the edge of range. And Quadryu suddenly realises that that Valentine is not, you know, guaranteed to be alive for long. The Rizvedka are lining the bazooka again. They're trying to get a shot onto that half track. They do get the kill there. The Tanko Disan... Oh, and look at Gonzo. He's chasing the Valentine. He's really going for that kill now. And once the Valentine killed, the Tanko Disaniki almost moved into a position to take out those Rizvedka. And is Gonzo going to get that kill? Quadryu trying to push forwards into the town. Only Ogmichiki defending for now, so I think he's going to be okay doing that. Rizvedka's still chasing that Valentine. And Vardy is chasing Tankos. Rizvedka's chasing Valentines. Oh. And a T-34-76 barreling down the road. And yeah, Gonzo realises the error of his ways. He's desperately... And Desaniki chasing T-34-76ers. I feel like we need some Harry Hill music in here right now. And none of which are successful, I guess. The Tankos, I think, were successful. One Guardia versus one Tanko. Who's going to get the win? Are the Rizvedka going to get the Desaniki kill in the transport? No. Yak 1B comes in to finish off the Tanko Desaniki, and at least Gonzo holds the flag. While all this has been happening, let's just check back. No really movement in the south. In the centre, it looks like Quadryu is pushing back in with his Guardia and the Saniki. Looks like a tank has gone down here as well, a T-34-85. Oh, we got a Zenot 85mm, probably moving into this kind of position, yeah, to protect against that hill. So Gonzo can't really use that hill anymore. IL-2M3 coming in to try and hit the 85. I think it was chasing the Yak 1B there. IL-237 coming in to hit the 85. Gonzo trying to get out of line of sight, look. Has he managed it? Yeah. He has. So he split the tanks up and he hid them behind the forests. But this is where the U2 comes in, because it can spot the area. Looks like Gonzo is reinforcing the centre. Do want to keep my eyes on all the engagements here. IL-2M3 misses the attack on the T-34-85. Here's the reinforcements coming into the centre, so Quadryu's attack has been successful. Gonzo does not want Quadryu to exploit that position. Vardiers moving past Sturmoviki and Desaniki. IL-237 coming in again. Doesn't get the kill with the 37mm. Does impart a decent amount of damage, I would expect. not quite. The 85 is looking okay for now. And a couple of 37 mils come up onto the hill to protect against the air assaults that are currently plaguing Gonzo's units. And look at the reinforcing infantry coming in here from Quad Ryu. We do have a plane up in the skies for Gonzo as well, a PE-283 coming into the centre, I think, to hit the ZIS-3 gun. Neither player really decisively getting positions here on the battlefield. PE-2 does survive, does get its rockets off, should hit the ZIS-3, but just in the wrong place. Yak-9T may well go down to the Normandy. If the Normandy can get in range, but I don't think it can. Should switch to the IL-237, you would think. Yeah, it does switch to the IL-237. Might just get the kill here. Fuel leaking. Ooh, just gets the kill. But will that Yak make it out of lines? Make it out alive? It is well behind enemy lines. I think it's going to. Remember, the Yak-9T did just evac, so Quad Ryu's mainline fighter isn't available to him, and the Yak does make it out alive. We see the smoke off map moving forwards. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell us the type of artillery attached to that unit. So I think he's going to smoke this position and then push through with the... I would expect... Well, he's going to push in there with something, surely. Unless that's not being used on smoke duties. I don't know whether there's an option on that unit. I really should brush up on my 3 VDV knowledge. I feel like I'm a little bit lacking here. Now here come the Desaniki. Okay, from the north, and then they're swinging south. So let's find out. Is it smoke? Yes, it is smoke. So it's only smoke, I think, on that off map. Gonzo drops the bombs on the Sturmoviki with the PE-2 there, and the Desaniki come into the position. And they win it, though. They are now moving forward on foot, but I was going to say the smoke doesn't favour them, but I think they're going to be okay. I think they're going to be okay. Quad Ryu has the 13-11. 29 minutes on the clock for Gonzo to turn things around. And Quad Ryu making moves in the south as well. What I would say is throughout this game, it feels like it has been Quad Ryu on the attack, and Gonzo has very much been the reactor, the reacting force to Quad Ryu's assaults. Guardia is going to try and come down this hill, but there is the T-3476 here. He's trying to get a long-range engagement onto the Desaniki because they only have the 8 Publisher rifles, so they can't engage at long distance. There's the T-3476, start firing on the Guardia. One-man tanker Desaniki. Will he be able to get the victory against the Guardia? I think he is. I think he's going to surrender a 6-men. No, he just went down. Just went down. Fight rages on in the centre of the battlefield. And in the south, Quad Ryu's destroyed some vehicles. There were quite a few half-tracks in there that have gone down. Probably to the... probably to the PTRS 41 and the M42 gun, I would imagine. Maybe close range AT grenades as well. Gonzo's got to be a little bit careful that this T-3476 doesn't get hit by the Guardia, but I mean, he has an infantry in front of it, but that infantry could go down if Quad Ryu assaults the position, you know, fully, I guess. So it looks like Quad Ryu targeting the centre. We do now see a Yak coming in to pick off the Sturmoviki in that central forest. Oh, but they just move out the way in time. The VZ VOD, I think they're going to be okay. They are a 10-man squad, and those Sturmoviki are out of TNT satchels, so the VZ VOD, yeah, they are okay there. Gonzo picks back up the position, but he is 13-11 down still. 27 minutes left on the clock. Very close game this. And compared to the other games in the series between these two players, very tight. Whereas the previous ones, you know, quadryu had very much been the aggressor very early on, taking a lot of flags at the expense of units. This one, I think, is much more cautiously approached by quadryu, and we're seeing a tight game of cat and mouse between the two players. Ooh, Studebaker going down there, and the Guardia and the transport are destroyed. I think things do quieten down a little bit. Gonzo does call away the PE2 there. Sturmoviki are spotted by the Guardia and destroyed at long range. 85 mil now on the battlefield to try and prevent the bombing strikes from the PE2s. I think the PE2s are being used pretty effectively by Gonzo to try and destroy any infantry that he sees in the forests. Because that's the thing, Gonzo's infantry, you don't want to engage at close range 100 meters in these forests, so it's better for him to spot it and then bomb the infantry, you know, spot them and bomb them, than try and engage in hand-to-hand fist fighting against fully SMG equipped units. Su-76 MPTs start to push forward, and they've got the APCR ammunition turned off. Oh! Don't need it! Immediately get the kill onto the T-34. They do get much better aim time because they're an open-topped tank destroyer. So they do get a lot better aim time. One-shot kill there from the Su-76 MPT. I'm always impressed by these units whenever I see them. I really do love to see these Su-76 MPTs in action, and it looks like quadryu is using them pretty effectively right now. Another attempt to get onto this central hill. Gonzo has brought it back to a 12-12. He has lost this flag up here, but he is holding this central flag. I think they're the two flags that have switched sides in the map. Oh, big force pushing forwards here from Gonzo after Machikis. Now these guys obviously can engage at knife fighting range, but you know, the normal Guardias you don't want in that role. T-34-85 somehow getting a fairly long-range engagement here against the Valentine 9. Very rare to see a long-range engagement like this taking place on Zell, but here we have it. The weirdest long-range engagement you're going to see. And quadryu backs away from that now. I think the T-34-85 had the advantage there, so I think that's a good decision. The attack into the center has been successful, and quadryu picks back up the 13-11. The VZ VOD will not be able to hold off this attack this time. Gonzo needs a PE2 coming in desperately. Just bring in the off map. I think he's going to use to kind of get back into that position. But he is losing that flag, and he is losing a 13-11 tick. Another long-range engagement across the hills there from the 85 and the Valentine. Calling the 85, firing on the OB-25. Should get the kill there. Yep. Both sides using OB-25s here. Ooh, the Zenot 85mm has been caught by the OB25s, and it might go down here. IL-2M3 goes down as well. And did it go down? It must have done. I think it was in this position. I took my eyes off to look at the IL-2. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that 85mm went down because I can't see it, and I'm certain it was in there. And the OB25s are going to destroy the ZIS-2 gun as well. Nice work from Gonzo with those OB25s. PE2 comes up north to hit those Sturmoviki. And Gonzo micronet back around. And I think he's going to evac that now. Kill onto the Sturmoviki, might be able to recapture this flag, but he does have to worry about these tanks. Yeah, calls in a T-34-85 and he desperately needed it, because if these rush down the road... he does have the Razvedka here. He does have the Razvedka to hold, but it is a little bit of a worry for him that he doesn't have something that can take out those tanks. At least at range. It looks like the T-34-85 that was in this position, that was fighting the Valentine, has gone down. Razvedka caught in the forest by Sturmoviki and Desantniki, and the Sturmoviki toss the TNT there and do get the Razvedka kill. 13-11 still to Quadriu. Here's the off-map onto the forest. And the Aftermachiki should move forwards after this, but unfortunately they're being caught in the blast. Sorry about that. Hopefully you didn't get too much mic noise in there. Accidentally hit my mic. Yes, the Aftermachiki were kind of caught in the blast, and now they're moving forwards. So not really perfect play there by Gonzo, but he's picked up the position and brings it back to a 12-12. Remember, if Gonzo wins this game, he wins the best of 5. He is crowned champion for Season 5, so Gonzo has a lot to lose right now. Quadriu, you know, he still needs to win this game and the following one to be crowned champion, so Gonzo, you know, he's got a lot to lose. Looks like a bombing strike up north. I mean, he's starting to use these PE2s really effectively. You know, consistent strikes. I feel like Quadriu could do with some more AA. He did have the Zenot 85mm, but that got taken down and he's not really replaced it. A very tight game between these two players. I feel like here's the another smoke off map from the WC52 KO back here. The Desantniki are moving in, and they will defeat the Ognamachiki. The Ognamachiki are very capable against Desantniki, but they shouldn't win this. I would definitely not, especially if the Desantniki hop in the building. If they hop in the building, there's no way they can win. And you see Quadriu's doing that. He's getting into close range so that they can't use the flamethrowers. So these flamethrowers are restricted to, I think it's like above 50 meter range. So if you get within the same building, they can't use the flamethrower. And yeah, the Desantniki pick up the position, but they are under fire from the T-34-85. Be a little bit careful that those Desantniki don't do all the work and then die. And then the position is lost, or the gains are lost. So the T-34-85 did make it up north and is now covering the road, allowing Gonzo to push forward again, and I don't think it's far until he gets back to a 12-12 again. This is really tight. I mean, look at the tickets. Both players have lost a fairly decent number of tickets. Very tight game thus far. Who has the... Oh, SU-76 MPT. I think it was the snapshot here from the T-34-85 that got the kill there. There is now an 85mm down south. But Quadriu could do with something further up north, because those bombing strikes are going to take a toll if they continue to be used time after time. Razvedka bazooka strike this one here onto the SU-76 there. 13-11 still to Quadriu. 22 minutes for Gonzo to hold on, or turn things around, should I say. It's hard to see what's going to happen here. I have no idea what is going to happen in this game. This position looks decently well defended for Quadriu, and this position looks a lot weaker. So I feel like if Gonzo's going to make territory back, it's going to be in this position here. It's going to take him, you know, more bombing strikes and a lot more time to get back into this position here. We're just going to have to wait and see what happens. The Rizvedka have used up all of their bazookas. 3. They only have 3. I thought they had more bazooka rounds than 3, so I guess it's not as major. Yeah, Gonzo pulling them back. Guardia are pinned down yet, now they fall back. T-3485 has gone down. Now come the T-3476s, and Gonzo does need to keep that position reinforced because his Xenauts are there as well, and I'm worried about a rush down the road that really establishes a great hold on this. So Gonzo working hard to stop that from happening. Here comes an off map, and not actually much in there, but Quadriu's actually falling back into that off map because he sees the front line moving there. Ooh, Desaniki demolished by that strike. We look from the top of the hill. Looks like they just make it out alive. That was terrible camera work. The 85s trying to hit the 76 there, but having to back away again. Now there's this 3-gun fires. Ooh, 2 big strikes there. Turret stuck. But I think if Gonzo would have carried on that, he could have actually pinned down that Zis gun. Yeah, he is going to carry on the engagement lock, and he will get the kill there if Quadriu leaves it in place. I love the sound of those 85 mils firing. Just amazing. Oh. Sorry, I just had to go in there to experience that. I can't wait for the jet bomber. Man, I played with that unit, and that unit, the sound of that unit is just amazing. Desaniki should easily dispatch the Guardia up north, and the Rizvedka are trying to get away here, but they out of bazooka ammunition, so in a way it doesn't matter too much whether they get destroyed, because it's not like Gonzo can do any sneaky beaky bazooka attacks or assaults. And I think it's these T-3476s that were coming up to reinforce, but Gonzo's left the road open again. He is targeting this position again. We did say he's going to need more bombing runs and more of a concerted effort to take back the position, and it looks like he's doing it. He's taken back this flag here, and it looks like he's about to take back the hill as well. Quadriu still has the 1311 though. Oh, and down south, Quadriu's forces have been destroyed. We've been concentrating up north, but Gonzo's made some nice moves down south. And Quadriu was all the way up to this kind of line here on these buildings. But look here, our Gonzo's captured this flag all the way down south. He's currently pushing forward. This is T-3476. I think he's a little bit reserved on this push here, but he could exploit it. He doesn't really have reinforcements going in there. I don't think Quadriu quite realises at the moment, although we do get a T-3476 call in, but that's to the hill, so he may not have noticed the peril he's in. Now the Desaniki get ordered in, so he definitely is aware of this. And they should cover the flag, but I expect an off map if Gonzo has one left on this town, and that might really help him take that position back. Another PE2 strike coming in here. The 85mm, the single 85mm is not enough right now. Gonzo's really using those bombers to great effect. He has retaken the position. He's got himself back up to a 1311 here. And he starts to tick down on Quadriu, and Quadriu's got 25 minutes to turn this around, and this looks quite dangerous for Quadriu. This does look quite dangerous here, because he doesn't have too strong a line down in the south. I mean, across the battlefield, it looks like Gonzo's in a much stronger position right now than Quadriu. So this is looking, it's looking dangerous. Gotta say that. Needs to unload the Maxim. Yeah, does not want to lose those vital units in the transports. Could have done with that in the house, really, with the extra protection from that house. Still would have been within range, so that would have been fine. Ooh, grenades! Grenades from both the Guardia and the Aftermachiki onto the Valentine there. And the Guardia firing at long range against the M42 gun as well, combining with the Guardia on the near the crossroads. But the M42 gun will survive for now. So it's back to a 12-12. Quadri did recover the flag in the south. He's got a little bit of time to stabilise. Can he do it? That is the question, because it feels like Quadri was up for a while, but now it does feel like Gonzo has made some pushbacks. And, you know, if he can get past this town, there's not too much behind. So this is a pretty key time for both players, I think. Here comes the off-map that I was talking about onto this town. I think his Guardia is a little bit close here. They could get caught. And Gonzo doesn't really have units to push in there. So I don't think he's going to exploit this off-map as aggressively and as well that as he could do. The heat shells here firing at ultra slow speed. Hits the front, but 90mm of penetration, not quite enough to get the kill on the T-34-85. I think that was the last heat shell. Doesn't get the kill. And the Yak-1B finishes off the OB-25. Here comes the 37mm. Finally, we do see a little bit more AA for Quadri. He really needs that AA. Because he's getting hit from the skies a hell of a lot. Looks like Gonzo's pushing an attack in up north. The off-map did come down, but yeah, Gonzo... What is this SIS-2 gun doing? That's a Miss Micro, I'm sure. And, yeah, that's surprising. Surprising. So we can see that Quadri is pushing Gonzo hard, because it's kind of surprising that he would make that kind of mistake there. I think that must have been a misclick on one of his units. I don't even see what unit he would have been... I think maybe he was trying to cover this road here. There was a tank down there, so I think maybe that's why he was moving forwards, but did not realise the danger that he'd exposed that ZIS-2 gun to, and it's not a cheap unit. Let's just have a quick look at this push up north. He does have a lot of units pushing through here, and you know, Gonzo's looking very... I feel like Gonzo's looking much stronger than Quadri right now. Picks up the 13-11, 23 minutes left on the clock. Quadri's got to get a move on if he's going to stay in this competition, because it feels like Gonzo is starting to pull out a victory. The T-34's pushed by the forest up north. We start to expose territory behind. The Valentine 9 goes down to a close-range T-34-76 shot. And Gonzo picks up a 14-10 now. The T-34-76 is going to start moving through the light forest, I think, to try and start hitting the reinforcement zone. Perhaps, maybe not. Going to sit there out of line of sight. And Gonzo's looking to spread south, perhaps clear these units and get himself all of this territory. So the P2 strike comes in again. Is it dropping on the 76 or the Descent Niki? I think it was dropping on the 76, but Quadri gets it out in time. And the two AA guns, not enough. There is a Yak-9T chasing that PE2. But we did see a second one come in there. And is that Yak-9-2 going to be able to get himself onto the second PE2? I don't think he is. It might be an opportunity, but I don't think he is. And the Yak-1B is called out to handle the IL-2M3, but the Yak-9T might get on the back of that Yak-1B. I don't think Gonzo realises the Yak-9T is behind him right now. And the Yaks are going after the IL-2 here. Looks like we'll get the kill. Not quite on the first pass, but look at him right behind the IL-2. Wow, how he didn't get the kill, but the second one should come in and finish it off. Now, where is that Yak 9T? Okay, so it did stray over the 37 mils and is taken down. I guess the Yak 9T wasn't as much as the threat as I was thinking it would be. $13-11 to Gonzo. 21 minutes for Gonzo to hold on. And I have no idea what's going to happen. It feels like Gonzo was in a stronger position, but we've had, you know, a moment of we've got a complete break in hostilities now, and has Gonzo lost some momentum? It feels like we've had a ceasefire. Nothing's firing. And the OB-25 now finally fires on the Guardia DP. Actually, this position does look a lot weaker than I think I was initially thinking, and Quadri could exploit this. Another PE2 comes in to try and hit that OB-25. Oh, we finally got a double Xenart in. I think one of them is out of ammunition though. This one there, I can't quite see on the bottom of my screen, but this one is not firing, so he must be out of ammunition. I mean, he's out of HE shells. So Quadri could do with a support truck to refill that. I mean, it just shows how much Gonzo has been using the PE2s. The fact that his Xenart 85mm run out of anti-air ammunition. Double shots at the T-34-85. I'm kind of surprised Gonzo's taking this engagement. One more hit on the 85 and that's going down. Yak 1B comes into strafe. Yep, down goes that 85, but he does take out the Xenart 85mm that had the ammunition in it. So that was the right one to kill. If he was going to kill one, that was the correct one. And these 76ers look like they're going to surround the town. May well cut off those Desantniki and Sturmoviki that are holed up in the buildings. Again, he is 3-on-1 here, so this is a much better engagement. Plane comes down here. I'm not exactly sure what that was. I didn't quite see it. I think that was a Yak 1B of Gonzo that was circling over the A for too long. It looks like he is going to get the kill. Ooh, Yak 9T gets on the back of that Yak 1B, and will Quadri start to establish a little bit more of an air defense, of a, you know, a combat air patrol, of a presence in the skies? Gonzo's chasing these 85 kills. Desantniki does have the grenades. Gonzo picks up the flag, 14-10. Actually might be able to get shots onto the Xenart 37mm. This is going to help him out in the skies. He's still 13-11 up. But Quadri does have a lot more in the centre now, and there's just one real Guardia squad holding out for Gonzo. I think Gonzo needs to reinforce that position, because Quadri is looking much stronger there. And that might be the place for Quadri to push. This 2-gun moving to the edge of the forest, but those 76s are mighty close. Do have a second 76 here. I think he's going to get a side shot. He gets his gun on target. The 76 about to get involved as well. I think these tanks are in trouble. And we could see both of these goes down. I mean, look at the angles of attack here from both of the tanks and the Zis 2-gun. We got another of Gonzo's T-34 76s down here, and that 76 is out because he's now showing side armor. Yeah, that was a beautiful move from Quadri to pincer move those two tanks. Does take away a little bit of threat, but Gonzo's still very, very strong up here on the northern side. Quadri's best bet is here in the centre, I feel. Can he push through? 15-9 to Gonzo. Surrounds the town, picks up the flag. 8 minutes left on the clock. But the 76 goes down to the SU-76 MPT. And that's going to recover the flag for Quadriu. Swing it back to a 14-10. And gives himself 16 minutes now. This is a really tight game. We are 43 minutes in. And most of this game has been, you know, one tick, one flag extra on either side. Quadriu being a bit more aggressive in this centre ground. If the 85 goes down, this could be it's a big threat removed from that centre hill. Down goes one of the OB-25s. Gonzo does get reinforcing infantry in though, and he really did need that reinforcing infantry in. Depends where he sends it though. If he sends it up onto this hill, I don't think it'd be as effective as sending it north into these positions here. Oh, this is this 3-gun caught in the forest. And that thing's going to go down as soon as it's discovered. Quadriu finding it really hard to get back up the hill into this position, and it's nice to know that even at the tippity top of Steel Division 2, these pro players find it hard to kind of take back positions that you or I would as well, because once you lose this kind of ridge line, it is really hard to get back up there, and it looks like Quadriu's finding it difficult as well. T-34-76 briefly broaches the top of that hill, but Quadriu thinks better of it and gets out of there. But it has moved the T-34-85 around the side. Does Maxim start pushing in here? Still, I have no idea which way this is going to go. Quadriu has reinforced quite strongly. I mean, Gonzo was looking very strong about 5 minutes ago, but I mean, he's still clearly strong up in the north, but here in the centre, he's looking a lot weaker than he was. And down in the south, I think, actually, when you think about it, the tanks that push forwards, that was his main strength down in the south. He's now got 10 men here in this forest, and he's got 13 men in this forest. And if Quadriu can get by that, there's not a lot behind. Gonzo recognises this, brings in the tank, so good call by Gonzo recognising that threat there. Yak-9T coming in, try and hit the PE2, doesn't quite get the kill on the head-on pass, and oh, there is a Yak-9T way behind enemy lines, and that PE2 I think will go down, not necessarily to this one, but the following one that's going to get in on the back of that PE2, if I try and get close up. He's tracking it. He can't quite get the shot off. There it goes. Wow, close range action. And the skies are no longer owned by Gonzo, it seems. So Gonzo has had control of the skies for such a long time in this game. But it feels like Quadriu is finally outmatched Gonzo in the air. And the IL-237 is coming in for the strike onto the 85. Oh, down it goes. That 85 like showed side armor there. I think it got stressed out. Turned its hull. And yeah, you don't want to show side armor to an IL-237. Yak-9T coming in and strafing the Gvardiya DP. And wow, look at the turnaround here in the centre. I was trying to point it out, but yeah. Things have turned around. I think the 85 just kept coming south. And, oh, now the IL-237 is going in for the 76 kills. Down goes one. It's going to have to circle back around. Might be able to take down the other one as well. And Gonzo is getting destroyed from the skies. Finally brings in some 37mm AA guns. But is it too late? Quadriu equals up the game with a 12-12. Oh, Studebaker goes down, and I think that was Gvardiya in the transport there, being lost to the T-34-76. Gonzo has the 1311, in comes the IL-237 again. I'm kind of surprised Gonzo hasn't moved his tanks. Yeah, Yeah, down goes that one. I think that one was reversing back. Trying to get into that light forest, actually, because the first one was around about here. 13-11 to Gonzo. 11 minutes left on the clock, but Quadriu's done really well, I think, to come back. He's still down, but he's definitely not out. And he's looking a lot more rosier. It's looking a lot rosier for him. I feel like he might be a little bit low on infantry. Desaniki do take out the aftermachi, but there's enough there to hold on that position for Gonzo. I feel like Quadriu might be a bit low on infantry because he's not being too aggressive with this Desaniki, despite the fact that the front line clearly shows the territory that he could be taking right now. And I'm not seeing much infantry being called in for him. The last few call-ins I'm seeing is Maxims. He did have that C-phase card of Maxims, and I think he's really low on his deck. Turret stuck hit onto the T-34-76, and the 85s are coming around to clean that one off. I mean, yeah, does get the kill. Perhaps Gonzo's going to push forward for another flag here. Wow, 16-8. Territory down here in the south. Ooh, but this is interesting. Okay, so Gonzo has captured the territory and the flags down here. 3 flags. But that's all of his men. If he loses those men, it's just the T-34-85 that's going to hold the line. Those Guardias are going to get destroyed at close range by the Desaniki. It's just whether these Guardia can survive at long range or not. Interesting. 17-7 for Gonzo. 4 minutes left on the clock. The IL-237s. Oh, double kill onto the T-34-85. Nice work there. Very nice work. Gonzo's infantry is now unsupported, but I'm not seeing many call-ins for Quadriu. I think he's really low on units. We see some Desaniki coming into the centre to recapture a flag. Oh, Yak-9T strafing run onto the Guardia. And if they go down, like I say, I mean, the flag's just going to flip straight back. We also see some Desaniki Maxims coming up, trying to recapture the hill there. And I think Quadriu is pretty much down and out of units. And Gonzo perhaps has a few more, but who knows right now. I'm not seeing too many calls in from Gonzo either. This game has gone long for these players, and they aren't normally the kind of players that play long games. So I think we have a lack of units right now. Valentine just gets into position to get the kill onto the, well, get the gun jam, but look at the aftermachiki, they're pushing forwards. I think they were going for the Valentine kill, but Gonzo realises now, actually, he's pushed out into open ground and he's got 2 tanks firing at him. The thing with the Valentine is, well, no, cancel that. Cancel that. No, I was going to say it doesn't have a hull-mounted machine gun, so it's not quite as effective at destroying infantry. But then I thought I was wrong, and actually it turns out I'm right. Yak-9T coming in here. I don't think it's going to be able to clean up too many of these bombers. Strike does take out the Sturmoviki. Just 1 Desaniki left holding that flag. Gonzo still has a 16-8. 2 minutes 30 left on the clock. We are getting down to it. And Quadriu surrenders. 51 minutes, 49 seconds. So Gonzo gets the victory. 5,495 kills to 4,475 losses. Trades fairly positive. And that was a very tight game. And it wasn't until the last sort of 10 minutes, I would say, that Gonzo really had the upper hand. I think for a long portion of that game, Quadriu did have the upper hand. But I feel like Quadriu ran out of units. And Gonzo just had enough left there. I think Gonzo was probably out of units as well. Both players probably out of units, but Gonzo had just done enough to hold the key positions, and Quadriu was just out of units. So I need to come in here and fill in some details. Gonzo did win this game, but he has not been crowned champion right now. So there was an error in the recording on replay number 1 on game number 1. Now, if you remember right, that is the game that Quadriu just surrendered out of nowhere. And it was really unexpected, and I didn't understand why he'd surrendered. And I kind of thought maybe he was out of units, or that he just got nervous and surrendered for the wrong reason, or who knows what happened. Well, there must have been an error on the replay of some kind, because the result was that Quadriu won that game, and he didn't surrender. But for some reason, when I'm playing the replay back, it shows him surrendering the game. So yeah, a really strange bug or error there. I'm going to submit the game to Eugene and report it as a bug, and yeah, I'm not quite sure why that happened. So just to fill you in, this is really weird, because obviously I've been casting this game with the assumption that if Gonzo won, he'd won the championship. And we just saw Gonzo won, but he hasn't won the championship. So he's equaled it to 2-2, because Quadriu won the first game, Gonzo won the second game. So that was 1 game apiece. Now at that point, I thought Gonzo was 2-0 up. Quadriu then won the third game and went 2-1 up. But I thought Gonzo was 2-1 up, but he wasn't. Quadriu was 2-1 up. And now Gonzo wins this game, so it brings it back to 2-2. Okay? So it's all to play for. There is still another game. Hopefully this explains what happened. Hopefully you understand. What I'm going to do as well in the next video, I'm just going to explain that again in detail, in case people have switched off from this point. And yeah, we are going to get a deciding final between these two players, and I'm looking forward to it. I guess it's a bit of a weird end to this video, and maybe a bit anticlimactic. We thought we'd crowned Gonzo the champion. I had no idea this was happening. I mean, you knew my surprise on the first game. I didn't know this had happened. I didn't know this bug existed, and yeah, that happened. So we've still got 1 more game left to cast. So make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you catch that game, because it's the decider. It's the all-important game between these two players. So it kind of boils down to that game. It's almost as if we didn't need the other cast, because it all comes down to the sudden death final game as to who is crowned champion of Steel Division 2 Season 5. But yeah, that was a strange game for me to kind of cast, and when I saw the victory, yeah, I was quite surprised, because I did know beforehand that this was a full 5-game final. I didn't know the order of who wins or how people win, or that kind of stuff. I don't know who wins a game, but I did know there were going to be 5 games. So yeah, so that was a shock when Quadriu surrendered in this game, because I knew there was 5 games, so I was expecting Quadriu to win, and I didn't understand what happened. And it turns out, yeah, there's a bug with that first replay. So there we are. Hopefully that hasn't spoiled things for you. Hopefully you're going to join me next time, and we're going to actually crown the champion in the next game, for sure, for definite. And hopefully we'll get an enjoyable game as well. I think this one was a very tight game between both players. I think both players just exhausted their decks completely, and Gonzo just managed to secure it. I think Quadriu might have been a little bit slow on the air defense side of things, because I think Quadriu did use his I think Gonzo did use his P2s pretty effectively. I think Gonzo did use his PE2s pretty effectively. Yeah, I mean, we are seeing some decent kill lists from those PE2s to take out Quadriu's units. But there we have it. So join me next time. We are going to crown a champion next time. I apologise that this happened. I didn't know it was going to happen. You know, I'm genuinely casting. You know, as this happens, I didn't know the results. I just knew there were 5 games. So that really surprised me. Because if this had been it, it would have been 4 games. Anyway, enough about that. Thanks very much for watching. Make sure you check out the final game between these 2 players, and we are going to crown a champion. I am Angry Bert. I will see you next time.